Welcome to another episode of Unbuttoned, and we have Bridget. Bridget, I actually don't know your last name.
It's Ioannou, but the WOG sometimes will pronounce it in the WOG way.
The WOGs.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like,
well, I'm Greek, so you can say it like Ioannou.
Oh.
Whereas Aussies would just say Ioannou.
Ioannou.
Because it's a lot of vowels in there.
Right. Okay. How many vowels are there?
I don't know. O-A and O-U, like all in one word.
Basically all of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
So it's confusing for some people.
Now, you just told me that you're a singer.
Yes.
How long have you been singing for?
Pretty much my whole life.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I've probably taken it more seriously in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Where I discovered I can songwrite.
So like during COVID, you decided to take it more seriously because you were at home more?
Well, I actually met someone who was severely into music.
Right.
And we obviously got along really well, and then they supported me a lot and encouraged me to songwrite or just sing every day.
Yeah.
Which was amazing because I don't know, I just came out of nowhere really, because I never really thought of doing that. I always just sang covers of your Beyonce, your Alicia Keys, Christina Aguilera, all your favorite songs at home. And then I fell in love with this person. So then all of a sudden I was just writing songs. Who would have thought that
about them?
Yeah. So that's how it evolved. But now
that's kind of really sweet though.
Yes. Well, I guess that's what most artists do, don't they? They write about something that makes them feel something.
Yeah, it's either about their current love or their struggles or their breakup.
Something emotional, I feel.
Yeah.
Definitely. If it's hard, I personally feel like it's hard to write a song where you're just sitting there thinking about it. I'll always freestyle everything that I make. So I'll just chuck a beat on before I discovered beats, or I would actually just sing something on the spot, press record, and that's how I'd write a song, and I'd write down the lyrics after that.
Right.
And then that's how I'd be like, oh, that sounds bad. I'd make it, change the word.
Yeah.
And then I'd listen to it in the car. I won't really listen to other people's songs that much. I'll just replay my own stuff.
Right. So that's kind of like you finessing the song, listening to it over and over and again, and just kind of picking stuff up that you've missed or that you want to add to it.
Well, it's funny because when you freestyle a song, you haven't prepared for it, right? So you're just thinking of if something makes you feel a certain way, you'll just sing about it. And then you're like, shit, well, I didn't write that, so now I need to learn it. So I have to replay it to learn the song, because you don't really think about it. You're just on the spot.
Yeah, because you're freestyling.
Exactly.
And so, right, I never actually thought of that. When you write a song, you do actually have to practice it to learn it.
Yeah, so I feel like the most rawest type of I don't know how to what word to describe it, but the rawest form of creating a song, I feel like is in the exact moment of you feeling something. So I've written one song before I freestyle ever, but the rest have all been play, go, and then record, replay it later.
Okay, so I have to ask the question: are you still with this person?
No.
Oh, so there's been a breakup song?
Oh. I wouldn't say just one.
Oh, there's been a few.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But that's how I started out singing about this person, and it wasn't just because I wanted to. It's just because, obviously I was feeling something.
Yeah.
And then after that I was feeling something else, obviously.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I started just, freestyling about other things.
Yeah. I think it is interesting, though, because actually I was listening to Joe Rogan this morning.
Yeah.
And
which one?
Tucker Carlson, the latest one.
Mm-hmm.
And Tucker was talking about comedians and how potentially, there are comedian stealers, that like they steal their jokes and all this type of stuff. And then
it's like not.
Yeah, and Joe was saying that there are some comedians that get like ghostwriters, so they'll write their jokes and then the comedians will just like tell them,
take them,
right? And some of them are good, but some of them not so good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's this piece around in your performance, how authentic can you be about the fact that that's what you were feeling like during the time. And so like with music and with your music, like how you just explained, like it's how you were feeling at the time, you know, and freestyling it and then going back and like relearning. And
I feel like because it's just like coming straight to you, so it's just for me more emotional, and it actually comes out better every time when I try and write it first. You just kind of get stuck what you should say next. Where it's like if you were just talking to someone now, you just answer the question, right? But if you were going to a job interview beforehand, you're trying to think of what you would say and then you just can't think. But then on the spot, like you know exactly what to say.
Yeah, I think that comes with confidence and experience. Like as I've gotten older, I've been able to ad lib a little bit better and then a little bit better and a little bit better. And like I know my story. Like I know my background. I know, you know, the points in my life that I'm really proud of or the points in my life where I really struggled and like all that type of stuff. And then I think it just comes with experience of like public speaking and like just being comfortable with like talking to people and like listening and reacting and like not getting so nervous or anxious.
It would be the same with singing. Like I actually found a song of a video, of me when I was like first starting to record myself.
Yeah.
Before I song wrote, and it was horrendous, but it was still good for my age. But it was like 7 years ago, and I thought it was good. And it's so funny listening to me this year. It's way better. And it would just go the same with the songwriting. You just, if I looked back at the first song I ever did, it's just so random.
I think it's so good to go back and reflect on like what it was like to begin with to what you are today. Like I do the same with my photography. Like I go back and look at stuff that I shot 11 years ago and be like.
Were you like, ew?
Nah, not so much ew, but like I could see like mistakes, but then I can like acknowledge, oh yeah, that's at that point, that's when I learned that skill or I did something different to kind of like finesse my style.
Yeah.
And then I still have like close friends that look at my current photos and send me messages saying you've progressed so much from when you first started. This is like
it's
amazing.
A nice feeling.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling because you forget, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's the same when I saw that video. I was like, I can't believe I uploaded that.
Did it just like come up on your phone?
It was a memory
for
Facebook. Yeah. So
goddamn memories on Facebook are killing me.
Oh, don't get me started. But yeah.
Did a memory come up of your like previous partner though?
Oh no. I mean everyone that is with someone.
Oh shit, here's a cat.
Come up.
Larry, you gotta stay away, buddy.
He's all right.
He's a friendly one.
But yeah, it's so nice to reflect. So yeah, it's definitely a good feeling.
So what made you want to take up singing?
I did drama. My parents put me in when I was like 5 or 6. Dancing, singing and acting from when I was really little.
Right.
Apparently I would just always perform for my family in the lounge room.
Or when the cameras were turned on or just whenever people came over?
My dad actually has nicknamed me Jukebox because I don't shut up. So from young I was always just doing that and they put me in there, which I think's helped just in general my confidence in life.
Yeah.
But I remember I did that till about 13. And I'd always get lead roles. We'd do things like Scrooge, High School Musical, Jungle Book, Tinkerbell, all that sort of stuff. And they'd put me on really strong vocal covers like Aretha Franklin and all that stuff.
Wow.
But I was coached from young, so I guess they could like control the sort of song I would be performing.
Yeah.
But then I figured out that I didn't really like the acting side or the drama side, so I just wanted to do singing. So after that, I never really just stopped singing. I'd always just be learning, you know, songs that I liked in my room.
You mentioned dancing as well. Did you do dancing?
Singing, acting, dancing, because in musicals you do have to do the dancing to the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you didn't want to do dancing?
I actually am going to be taking up dancing again because I do want to incorporate it in some music videos that I want to plan for the future.
Dancing with the Stars. We've got your latest person here.
I don't think so much. Dancing with the Stars. Not a goal I would like to do, but yeah. Singing definitely is just stuck, and I figured that whenever I don't sing, I actually tend to feel like really disconnected. So it's kind of been something that's been a therapy for me, like growing up. I realized even now to this day.
It's like in your soul. Yeah. And like you have to like do it. Otherwise you feel like you're what's the word? Like you're dehydrated from the energy or the fuel that it gives you.
Even a little bit like depressed because it's like not what
starved. That's what I meant.
Starving, yes. Yeah. Not doing what you love, you know? Like some people really love going to the gym, like they compete for competitions, and some people love, I don't know, like painting, and they just like, you know, have to express themselves. So for me, like singing is definitely that route that I choose.
What would you say your style of singing is? Or the style of songs that you create?
It's funny because recently I started playing around with different beats to see if I can try out different sounds. But I feel like I always tend to go back to more like gospel, black music. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it because I don't know if that's what you meant to say.
Soulful music.
Definitely. Like I have sang for people before and they said I didn't think you'd sound like that because it sounds a little bit like black girl vibe. But R&B/soul, I guess. But I do love just playing around with different things.
Can you sing something right now?
Oh my goodness. Honestly.
I'll look away. Don't look in the camera.
I don't think I can do that now. Because when you sing, you do have to warm up. And then if you don't warm up, it's not really like delivered properly. So I wouldn't do that to the listeners.
Yeah. No, that's okay. And so you've always lived in Melbourne?
Yes. I've actually never been overseas, unfortunately.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So still here.
Never wanted to go overseas?
No, 100% I have wanted to go overseas, but I actually have lived out of home since like 15.
Right.
So growing up
since 15? Mm-hmm. That's pretty young.
Yeah. So living out of home, having to buy your own car for the first time yourself, paying rent from a really young age and having to work from really young and paying all your bills. It's not like you could live at home and just save up and go on a holiday like everyone else could. So that was always really upsetting that everyone could do that.
Why did you leave home at 15?
I've just grown up not in a good environment in terms of just my
family
mental
life
health issues in terms of like my family. So I just chose to live with friends at first and then my cousins, and then I'd go in and out. But unfortunately, when you deal with parents who have mental health, it's just affects you. And it's so hard to just be there. Even like I obviously would have loved to live at home. But it's just, you have to kind of take care of yourself. Otherwise you can't kind of.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of courage to, one, acknowledge that, and then two, which I think a lot of people potentially fail to like complete. Like step 2 is actually executing on it, and then, continuing with it. So, like if you left home at 15 and you found it really hard, like it's just too easy to go back home, or it's just too easy to like fall back into that environment that, that you've always known, even though you wanted to take like a step into the right direction.
Yeah. And when you want to do things like, you have to work, you have to be in like a really healthy environment, you need to go to sleep early, but then, there's things going on at home. You can't, perform at your best in the other aspects of your life. So, and it's also hard to kind of be at home to see them in that state as well. And when they don't, do the things that you meant to have at a young age of support with being a mum or dad and stuff like that, it is hard for the child. You have to learn everything on your own, and you make mistakes that other people have learned from their parents already, and then you just like go through all these like different stages in your life. So
I moved out of home 3 times when I was living in Perth, and then the 4th time I was like, how can I not keep coming back?
You didn't want to stay there?
Well, so then I moved state, and I came here in 2001, and that was it. I was like, there's no chance of me going back home. This is ride or die. Like, I can't fail at this.
I feel like most people move from Perth. I know so many people.
Sorry, Perth people.
I just know most people I've met from Perth end up moving to Sydney or Melbourne.
I know a lot of people that have lived here that moved to Perth.
Yeah, that's true. That they want to have like a simpler life.
Yeah, and they want to have, just like a more basic, lifestyle, not so rushed around or stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think Perth is beautiful in terms of like beaches and weather and stuff like that. But like when you're growing up as a teenager, it's kind of...
You need some experiences.
Yeah, it just wasn't a lot of stuff going on. So...
What age?
So I moved here in 2001, 21.
Oh yeah, that's a good age to move. Yeah. It's still quite young anyway.
Yeah, and then I jumped into banking and finance.
Oh, okay. So you're like, I'm out of here. I'm going to be corporate.
Yeah, banking and finance. So I stayed with my mate Christian, who's on my fridge. He's the guy on Friday would have had his 2-year wedding anniversary, and then in 2 weeks' time he passed away. So I stayed with him. I met him in Perth, and he was living in West Brunswick, and I was sleeping on his couch, and I pretty much said to him, if I don't find a job in 2 weeks, I'm going to keep going, because I haven't seen the east coast of Australia. And then I landed a banking and finance job within a week and a half, and then moved to St Kilda.
Wow. Well, that's like, it sounds like it aligned. It was kind of like, good for you. But if you put yourself out there and you go for opportunities, you get it anyway. So most of the time. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've been here for 23 years. Longest time I've been in the one place.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I wanted to live. I do want to live at overseas at one point.
Yeah,
I would love to live in Greece or Dubai's on the top of the list.
You wouldn't want to live in Dubai right now because of the rain that they had.
I saw the flooding. I have friends over there.
What I think I read they had like in one day 100 days of rain.
It was a whole year's worth of rain, apparently.
Yeah, a whole year. Yeah. I was like, there's something not right with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently they generate a bit of rain there a little bit because of the desert, like how they do it in another country or something.
Cloud seeding.
I'm not sure if it's that, but apparently it was that. I have no idea because anything you read. But I mean, because they are a desert, they probably don't have the right plumbing in the city.
Yeah.
And but that wouldn't stop me. I feel like we have that happen in Australia all the time.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some cloud seeding happening here. I've seen some really obscure cloud formations.
I'm never really looking up, to be honest.
Recently.
I'm always...
Yeah, recently, like you look up and you're like, that kind of doesn't look right. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, I saw stuff about Dubai that was saying that it was cloud seeding, and then I saw the direct opposite. Like
you never know, but I guess like it happens in a lot of countries anyway. But I think it's so good to go there because it's so central, and there's a lot of expats that move there, and it'd be so nice in terms of like opportunities for whatever
singing.
you're doing. Yeah, for me, it would be singing definitely because the type of people that would be there are kind of on the same level.
And you're right, it is central because it's central to like, it's easy to get to Europe, and then, you know, you got Asia and Australia and all of that.
Yeah. I wanted to live overseas, but then obviously that's when COVID happened and then I couldn't. And now I'm just planning where I would go more.
How did you cope during COVID?
I honestly did really well. It's not many people get to relate to that, unfortunately. But
why do you say you did really well?
Well, at the time, I moved to the first time. It was when I got like kind of my own place.
Yep.
I moved in with another girl, but
that's exciting.
Yeah, it was good for me because it was the first time that I wasn't living with other people that they had control of the lease, and there was no control of me having who was in, like, you know, you'd live with girls and share houses and stuff like that. And it'd be really hard to get your own space because everyone parties and then you want to go to bed at a certain time and you can't.
I've never lived in a share house.
I wouldn't. It's good. It depends. You have to really like have good people in there.
Yeah.
But at the time we worked from home when COVID hit. And I was very disciplined and I still am, but back then I just feel like I had a bit more of a drive at the time before COVID started. And I don't know, I was just putting my phone down at 8 o'clock. I would wake up in the morning at 5. I think I was reading a lot then and I learnt a lot from different books. And one of them...
Because you couldn't go out because we had the harshest lockdowns here.
Yeah, but I was reading before that.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. What do you read?
So there were more self-development. Yeah, things that I would learn.
Yeah. Because
I used to have to drive so long to work every day.
Okay.
And then it's when I started listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'd listen to people like Joe Dispenza. He would talk about your emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
And I learnt so much. So I just kept listening to interviews and I loved it. So I started picking up books like that. So one of them was like the 5 a.m. Club. It talked a lot about like how you deal with things in life and
at 5 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. At 5 a.m. So
story of my life. I'm up at 4:30, 5 a.m. every day.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a morning person for sure.
I just can't. I don't know. Like even if I go to bed late, I'm like awake at that time.
Your body clock, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel so much better when I get up early because I don't drink coffee, so I don't feel sluggish if I'm like sleeping in.
What do you mean you don't drink coffee?
Yeah, I don't drink coffee. I tried it for the first time in COVID and I felt like I was like off the rails.
Wow.
It was quite funny. I called my dad and I was like, how do you make coffee? And he was like, just put the spoon in, mix it, blah, blah, with one. And I had it before work and then I was just like,
wow.
Fried.
That's, yeah.
So I just don't drink it. I don't need it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's, I guess.
Are you sure you're from Melbourne?
I've met so many people that don't drink coffee now.
Coffee culture in Melbourne is like massive.
I swear I would fry your brain drinking so much coffee. Now that I know what it's like, I'm like, I would never want to feel like that again.
Right. Okay. I can understand if you don't, like it's not something regular that you would drink. So yeah, I remember the first time I had coffee, I was like, yeah, wow, this is like, I feel like I've got so much energy.
People tell me that they tried coffee from like so young. I'm like, I can't imagine. I had a tiramisu once and I didn't know they put coffee in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like after work one night and then I was on my phone till about 1 in the morning and I'm thinking, God, I'm usually so tired by now. I'm like thinking, and then it got to 2 and I'm like, it must have been coffee in there. I just didn't know they make it with it. And then it got to 6 a.m. and I'm like, I should probably get ready for work. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really sensitive to me.
Was it a big piece of tiramisu or just a little one?
Just a normal one. I don't know. But
Triple
it was
shot.
like proper Italian place. So
yeah.
I was soaked it up.
Right.
Yeah, I don't eat it.
Well, that's good that you kind of you came out well during COVID.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of was implementing things that I learned in the books, which just I didn't intend to do. And I think because I have always sang, and I just you don't realize you get so distracted from the like society, wanting to just go see friends all the time, and after work you just want to chill out. So I guess in that same time I was in the start of my songwriting phase.
Yeah.
And because I actually had so much space and no one was home for once, I wasn't living with many people, I could actually feel comfortable singing.
Yeah, right.
Because obviously you're loud and I sing at nighttime more so. And I just kind of focused on things like training, like I was working out and I had like a full routine in the morning. And then I allocated, because I did everything in the morning, I was so switched on for work. I was doing really well with my sales job. And then after work, I would just allocate time to sing, and I'd hate it. I'd sing and I'd feel so shit, and you sound so bad, but like, I had someone in my corner that was like, just so good at like explaining how you should go through life. And I don't know. Just that's evolved heaps with my singing, and then did heaps of open mics after it opened back up because I was like singing so much at home, and I don't know, just grew, I guess.
I did. I think I lost like 9 kilos during COVID because I got real disciplined, and a friend of mine who studied like personal training, he like kind of gave me not a routine, but like a diet eating program, and I just got like super disciplined, and
put your energy in something at that time, I swear.
And it was just like, it was easy. I was working from home, like my corporate job and like all of that. So because you couldn't go anywhere, it's like, oh, well, like this is it, right? Like until we kind of come out of it. So.
Yeah, it definitely helped me. I never really stuck to something before. I did like a 12-week program at the time.
Yeah.
That was when I had the breakup.
And the revenge body.
The revenge body, it came through. I didn't miss a beat.
It came through. What do you mean?
Come through, like, when people say come through, it's just a joke. But
Right.
But
so you were happy after your 12-week transformation.
It just like, obviously everyone goes through it, I feel like, and it just like, you need to focus on something other than what happened. So you just put your energy into that, and
I think doing something physical definitely helps your brain like switch off and focus in on other things, rather than ruminating on like what happened or like what did I do or the what ifs.
I 100% agree. I feel like there was a period of time where I didn't work and I didn't train. And I have trained before, so I know the benefits, and obviously comparing myself to when I was really well in COVID.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's why I'm so passionate about mental health, because I've grown up with seeing it, and then obviously maybe experiencing a little bit in that time where I wasn't working. It really affects you not moving your body or doing anything. And now I'm just so, you go through phases where you don't want to go work out and you don't want to move around, but it's like, the consistency when you reflect back on how much better you feel, it just makes me even more passionate about like why you should do it.
I often don't want to work out. I often don't want to do cardio, but like you just have to not think about it.
Yeah.
And just do it. And
even today, same thing.
Yeah. And even, so I think it's Andrew Huberman. He was on one of his podcasts with, David Goggins, and they were talking about
stay hard.
Yeah, there's a thing. Who's going to carry the fucking boats?
Really? I haven't seen that one.
No. Sorry, no. So Andrew Huberman was talking about there's a spot in the brain. I don't know what it is, but there's a spot in the brain that they've studied that basically is the area that manages, controls, like your fear of not doing things that you don't like.
Okay.
Like putting yourself in stressful situations.
Right.
And their study showed that the more you put your body into the stressful situation, the more comfortable you are with that situation.
Mm.
And so they were kind of talking about like cold plunges, you know, like everybody, like you don't want to do the cold plunge, but if you did it the day before or you did it every single day for the past week, you're going to know that everything's going to be okay. Like at the end of the day, like it's cold.
Mm. And it's more just the fact that you're putting yourself in like a habit.
Yeah.
So obviously once you do something all the time, you just kind of continue to do it and then it's like, you feel better anyway. But if it's like that, even like the studies they've done on it and how it actually changes cells in your body and stuff, it's not just because you want to have a cold shower. It's
exactly. And like even David Goggins, like ultra marathon, you know, like SEAL guy, he looks at his shoes for like 30 minutes because he doesn't want to go for a run. But then he puts them on and he does it.
I noticed that's being, because now it's probably the first time I've been really consistent with training. I've never stuck to something. So I started in the start of the year with my coach. So I have a program, have my thing. He changes it every week if I need to and stuff like that. And just being accountable is what I wanted to start because like I trained and then, you know, if you didn't feel like going, you just wouldn't go, right? But I wanted to see like results quickly and I just wanted to stick to something. And I've noticed sometimes when you fall off a little bit in that time, yes, it can be hard. Like you said, you don't want to go. Sometimes I just don't even want to get out of my bed because I've been in there the whole day. But it trickles into other parts of your life if you are consistent with one thing. And I noticed that sometimes like my singing, I would start writing a song and I wouldn't finish it. Like I wouldn't go to a studio and record it. I'd just leave it in the bank. And I didn't really realize that till recently with training because it got to a point where I was just like, oh, I don't know if I really want to finish it because I have the coach I'm paying and then you just look like a little bit of an idiot if you don't follow through. And just with work, it's just, it's so good for you. Like I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah. What type of training are you doing?
So weight training, I do 6 days a week.
Yeah. Like you're not powerlifting or anything like that. Just
no.
like
I think I'd snap in half if I lifted something.
Well, people say training. I was like, is it CrossFit? Does she look
I'm
like
not an athlete. No.
No?
I just like, I don't know. I just want to look good, I guess.
Yeah,
but then it's obviously helped mentally, just by accident.
No, it's intentional. Like it definitely helps mentally. You know, like people go to the gym to, I guess, put their demons to sleep. You know, like because once you go to the gym, and the reason I go so early is because I know that that's the hardest part of my day, and then I don't have to think about it, and like everything else is easier.
Do you go really early?
Yeah, like sometimes I'm there at like 4:45. I was there this morning. I did cardio. There was me and another guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's a good time.
We're the crazy ones.
It's good because it's not busy. I usually go at 5:30, 6, just because it's gives me energy, especially because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
It actually does make me feel normal. If I leave it till after work, it's a bit of a drainer.
Yeah, it's harder after work because you have to find the energy.
If you go with friends, it's cool because you're catching up and you're just training together. So it's like you're not as draining it. But definitely 5 a.m. is my thing.
I do miss training with someone. Like when I started, God, I was like 18. I was at TAFE and my El Salvador friend, whose name was Salvador, like he was like 5'2", built like a tank, and like he could bench press so much more than me.
Yeah.
But like going with someone else just kind of helps to like build that motivation and that kind of like, yeah, you can do this, you know, like you got this type thing.
It's good, yeah, to have a partner to go with. I felt like when I was going with one of my housemates all the time that when they didn't come, I didn't want to go. So I'm kind of glad that I just go by myself now. I just take my time and just get it done, really. I don't, like today I was like, oh, like, have I done this like already this week? I was like, I could just maybe do it tomorrow, but I'm like, no, like there's so much time, you can just bang it out. Yeah. And then it all builds up. So
yeah. I find that you have to definitely, and it's good that you have like a trainer or a coach, but like I find that I will like plateau, but I've worked out something different that I'm trialing and I'm finding that I am getting better results is like doing anywhere between like 6 to 8 reps. If I can do 6 to 8 reps, I need to go heavier. And I won't limit myself to the number of sets I have to do. So it's like 6 to 8. If I can do 6, then I go one heavier. And like if I can only do 5, that's it. I won't do any more.
That's good. Yeah, I'm like trained now to do the same thing in a way. Like it's always till failures, but I have been told to train heaviest on the first set because you have the most energy for that set at the start. When you make it heavier later, you're not giving it your best. But you're only meant to do like a short amount so that way it's actually doing something. Otherwise, if it's like 15 every time, it's a bit too light and it's heavy. It's not going to see results and it's not really going to do anything. So I've definitely been working my ass off lately. I've trained the heaviest I've ever trained, but it's good because you can see like from start to finish the difference.
Which is your favorite exercise?
I actually like training upper body a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I trained quads yesterday and I'd hate it. I just don't want to take it out. I don't want to do it. I just
RDLs and squats.
Hack squat machine.
Hack squats. Hack squats are easy. It's easy on your back.
I just get it out of the gym.
Yeah.
I hate it. I was videoing. My friend asked me to just do a video in the gym yesterday, and I was like, perfect, because he wanted to do legs. So let's do it with together, so I don't skip it for the week. No, I still do it, but it's not my favorite one.
Yeah.
For the week. What about you?
So upper body. Yeah, I prefer upper body. Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's just, even if it's a bit heavy, like it's just easier. Like with legs, it's like just feels so much heavier when you just have to add a little bit on. And I don't know.
Triceps have always been my favorite exercise because, I don't know, it's just easy for me.
Yeah.
But shoulders are really, yeah.
Yeah, I like training shoulders, I feel like, and chest. I don't know. I like the ones that my coach has got set up in my thing. Probably don't do as much as guys though. It's probably like light mix with back maybe as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned you're in sales. What type of sales?
I've done like all different sales throughout my like jobs and stuff, but I'm just doing I compare health policies at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're in the health sector.
Yeah, I guess. So if you have like health insurance, then I'll compare it to make sure like you have a good policy because
you don't work for that Meerkat website, do you?
No, but they actually own a lot of the companies. You'd be surprised.
I'm sure they do because their marketing is on point.
Yeah, and you know so exactly funny. What the business is when you see the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like compare whatever. Like
yep. Yeah, so not for them, but
not for them. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I started in sales like when I was pretty young. I just needed a job. I was in like selling suitcases. Like they teach you all the stuff that you need to sell and blah blah. And then,
what's the best suitcase? I might need to buy one soon.
It's funny because it's not actually what the best suitcase is. It's just like how much it is. So you're always
how much it
trained to sell the one that costs more and just G it up so it sounds good. It's a whole deal.
It's a sales tactic.
Yeah. So now whenever I go shopping, I know what they're doing when they're complimenting you. So I just say, I'm all right. Just do my own shopping.
Don't go shopping with you because you're like calling the salespeople out. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, you're better off going with me because I can negotiate. But
can you negotiate with salespeople? Oh, I guess you
if
can't.
I'm in sales, I definitely can. Yeah. I know what they're on about.
So you started off with like bags and suitcases, and then
I've done so many things. If my friends watch this, they're gonna laugh because I've probably worked in
I
every.
hope they will.
I've worked in every industry.
Come here, buddy. Up here.
I've done so many things.
He's like a dog.
Yeah, he just listens. That's good. I've worked in call centers. I've worked in retail. I've done hospitality. I've worked in laser clinics, cake shops. I don't even know. I've worked in like every single thing.
I think it's good.
I feel good. I feel like I could start like a recruitment company because I just know the ins and outs. I've worked in real estate.
Yeah. I think it just shows that you weren't afraid to like try lots of different things to try to work out like where you're best suited at this point in time in like your life, you know?
I think that's how I gravitated towards sales because in sales you can control more of your day. You kind of work for yourself, you know. But with other jobs, if you're a bit more of that sort of character, it's hard for someone to manage you because, you know, you kind of know what you want and don't like being told what to do all the time, and it can be hard, you know, in different roles. So I always gravitate back to sales because you just in control of your day. You don't really need someone watching over you.
Do you find other salespeople pushy though?
Depends what industry. Where I am now, we compare policy. So like if you want to compare electricity or stuff, it's like that. But we just do health insurance. So it's like you already have health insurance. We're just helping you find better cover really. And it's called sales because you have to like help them sign up to the new policy. But sales is really just helping people and understand things and simplifying the information. Yeah. It's a really good skill to have, I feel.
Understanding their needs and matching them with whatever is available.
Yeah. Like in real estate, that's probably what people think of when they think of sales because it's like, oh, like they're selling a house and they're being like, oh, buy, get off me. But all it really is just helping you out because most people won't know how to do it themselves. So we're just really simplifying everything. So.
I think what's going on, buddy? I think with real estate, it's more around like the lifestyle, like
the flashy cars that they show off. Is that what you're saying?
No. As in, if they're trying to sell a home, they're selling the lifestyle of the home. So it's all about trying to find the right buyer for that home that is more likely to execute on a sale or like put an offer in or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It is so different. Each industry has different things that they do in terms of like selling. It's very broad, but you can really get a job anywhere. I feel like I would suggest people to do that rather than studying because I feel like people study and they earn less than what people do in sales. So,
well, the skills that you pick up in sales allow you to work on like people skills and like soft skills that you can transfer to like other roles, other industries, other aspects of your life, you know, like
100%,
like talking about yourself on a podcast or like singing or like meeting new people or like dealing with new agencies or clients or whatever, you know.
If you want your own business one day, it's like one of the hardest things to learn to be like sales.
100%.
So I'm so glad that I just fell into it because it's helped me heaps.
Yeah.
100%.
Back to your singing. What inspires you?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
When I'm like writing or why I do it.
Writing, why you do it, like where do you find inspiration?
To be honest, just going through life and just dealing with things that happen to you just makes you think like I'm so glad I have something to express myself with like this. But I think I'm more driven personally because I've had my brother pass away when I was very young.
Fuck.
So
I'm sorry.
When you just go through something like that, I think it's always just kind of there. So for me, because I've had to experience that, I just feel like it's in my duty to kind of make the most out of my life in a way, because some people don't get to do that. And obviously because of how I've grown up, I want my kids when I'm older to look up to me. I don't just want to be doing like a normal job and they have to grow up and in the same sort of system and just figure out what they want to do, and they might be really good at something, but I want to have them look up to me that I've pursued my talent and I have the fruits of like my success from that to pass down from that to them.
You want to be able to show them how to break free from the matrix.
I wouldn't say so much. I just want to be like a powerful role model because I didn't have that. And because I know I can sing, I don't just want to let it slide because I don't want to work a normal job, really. I want to
What's a normal job anyway?
Just working for someone else. I feel like if you have your own business, it's really good. If you like really dial into your talent, I'll want to teach my kids to like do the same thing. And because I didn't really have that, because my family had lots of things to deal with other than supporting that, I want to totally have that for my future.
I think it's interesting though, like you've got like this sales role and then you've got like the creative side. And I find that certainly the people that get on my podcast are all the same. That's the number one characteristic that I find in all my guests is that you have this like business structured corporate side to things, or like like you're working for someone else, and then you have a creative side, which is where all the flair comes into it, and you can express yourself, or like the creativity. And I guess it's one of the reasons why I set this podcast up, because it's about me shining the light back on you guys and like, telling your origin story, and where you came from.
Well, with things like your corporate side, and I there was one point where I quit. If I don't like something, I won't do it. I think that's why I've had so many different jobs, because I'm very like not scared to take risks, I feel. But I noticed that you have to afford to do your creative side.
Yes.
And you can't just quit your job and think you're going to be like Tones and I and busk on the street and just make
I mean, you could.
Yes, but you do still need to pay your bills.
You got to pay your bills. And I think a lot of that has to do with like timing as well, and like how comfortable you are. So, yeah.
Because that's actually something that I did in COVID. I quit my job thinking that I was just going to do singing, because I was like...
You're like, fuck it.
Felt like I just had this urge to just focus so much on what I was doing. And then I quit my job and I was fine for ages. But then I'm so used to working for someone else, you're conditioned to just get up and go to work. You don't know how to do that for yourself. So you put yourself in the situation and got another job, which is great. But you need to fund your dreams and everything that you plan to do. You can't just
I mean, the smart way is to try to fund it with another income source. But then there are those people who right place, right time, and they get lucky or whatever, and then next thing you know, that's all they're doing is their creative side. Like that would be the dream.
Yeah, I think it doesn't happen a lot though, that it just happens like that. I think I've noticed now, even with training, like things don't just happen. Like you need to work for it. And unfortunately, I wasn't putting much work into it. So I just make songs and just leave it there. But it's not something that you should do if you want to share stuff. So you definitely have to work hard for what you want. And I think it takes at least 10 years for any business, like even with podcasts, with like photography, like a cafe. Yes, sometimes it could be really successful in a year or something, but it's probably what's happened in the back end of like what you've tried every day, like to accomplish, you know. So it's the same with singing.
I've had like a brain fart where I'm like, did she answer the question what inspires her?
I feel like I did.
I'm like, what did she say? I'm like, and then we got talking about lots of different other things. I'm like, okay, well, maybe you did say it.
Well, I was saying because my family and my brother.
That's it. Yeah.
That inspires me because, like, I feel like, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Because your brother like passed away, and you have this responsibility to like, you know, do the things that you're doing because you've been given, you know, that opportunity and
I just don't want my future to be like how I grew up, and I just you know, I just and especially like with the mental health side of things, like that impacted my childhood so much. I couldn't focus down on things that I wanted to do, like singing. I can only really have it flourish now when I'm in control of my adulthood. But I want my kids to have that freedom, and I need to be mentally, you know.
How many kids have you got?
I don't have kids.
that you know of?
Yet.
Yes.
Okay. But you know, for the future. Definitely not right now. At least when I'm 30.
TBC. She's taking applications.
No, definitely. 30, like 32 the earliest. Please.
Fair call. What have you got plans for like for the rest of 2024?
Well, this year I totally am dialing in on just myself. I know everyone kind of talks about that. It's like very modernized to be like, oh, like myself is more important, like self-worth and stuff. But I think people don't realize it's so much more than just like making sure you look nice and, you know, saying no to people that treats you wrong on a date. It's like actually not seeing your friends very often because you have to focus on your goals. It's taking time to actually write down your 1, 3, 5 year plan, delegating what's most important and actually doing it, and not getting to 30 being like, oh, you know, I got distracted with a partner because I loved them. Yeah, I feel like you can love any time in life. But that's because you're not focusing on other things like, you know, to get you further.
Yeah. I was talking to my special friend and she was saying about self-work and like self-discovery and how important it was, you know, and the fact that you have to do the self-work. You have to acknowledge that you need to take yourself away from situations and, you know, really work on yourself. And that can mean lots of different things for lots of different people.
It's so broad, the term work on yourself.
Yeah. But just like acknowledging, you know, what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and like what's good for you versus what's bad for you. And, you know, I think once you get to that point where you know all of these things, then it is about that consistency and that pattern of behavior that you know you're going to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed in whatever it is that you're wanting to do.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And I also think like a type of discovering what is important for yourself is things actually going wrong as well. Like when I wasn't working for a little bit, you didn't want that to be the case and you feel like really upset and like it's the end of the world, and it is really hard. But you need times like that to fail. And everyone talks about you need to fail, but it's like feeling depressed, like maybe even like you're feeling like you're not going to come back from it, or so then
it's hard failing because you're like, fuck, should I actually try that again? Like, was I not meant for this? Or like, you know, like failing does create a lot of doubt in your own abilities and, you know.
Yeah, and
so
I think
totally get it.
that's like the stuff that's important, because then you feel like, oh, you know, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm sad, and you know, you just don't want to really do anything, and those are the times that like are important because it redirects. And sometimes creative people like myself, what I've learned is you actually need to be bored. So you think that you're doing well with life, like ticking off all these things, but if you're not actually sitting with just yourself, like not saying yes to go to plans to see all these people and do things that aren't aligning with like what you want to do, then yeah, you refocus on what you want because you've come from like a different place of perspective. And
reflection time is very important.
Yeah,
and
totally. I agree 100%. Every day is what you should. I think reflecting every day is important, but whenever you can.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like I'm not talking about just looking in the mirror. I'm like, how did it go yesterday, or like how did I feel like a week ago, or like where was I 6 months ago versus today. And the fact that you saw that video of you 7 years ago singing is like, you know.
Yeah, it's a big eye opener. Like it doesn't, it's actually not that much time. That like 7 years is not a lot, but like what feels like has gone on between those is amazing.
You know what happens in 7 years though? Every cell in your body has rejuvenated.
I've heard something like this. Yeah.
So you were a completely different person 7 years ago, like physically, and like
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, and it's not just like because like different cells will rejuvenate at different rates, but and I don't know what cell it is, but that last cell that takes 7 years to rejuvenated. And so that's why they say like you're a completely different person.
So interesting. It makes sense.
Like everything from your bones to like your blood to like your brain, like absolutely everything.
And that's probably why people get so affected and they age so quickly, like with their mental health and like their brains and how they're feeling stuff, because people eat certain things and they say you are what you eat.
Yeah.
And it alters like your biology then.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
Yeah, 100%. Stay away, buddy. It's just, do you have a dog?
I've never really owned pets.
Oh.
I come from a very WOG family. So they're all about being clean, you know. So if I told my grandma I'm living with a dog now, because I'm in a share house with beautiful girls.
Yeah.
And one of them has the most funniest dog and he's so cute. But they would just say, what? I'm not coming there. I was like, okay.
And so you have a side business as well?
Look, I wanted to.
Well, you did?
I do still have it, but I did have a few issues because I've lived in a lot of places.
Yeah.
When I started it, I actually learnt it in Queensland. I moved there in the COVID space as well.
Oh.
So that's when I learnt it.
Right.
I quit that job too at the time, and I was like, I want to start my own business.
Yeah.
So I'm very spontaneous. And I
What star sign are you?
Pisces.
Okay.
I don't know how that relates. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know what the traits are of Pisces, to be honest.
I don't know if Pisces are spontaneous, so there's got to be something else there.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I learnt it there, and then it's taken me a little while, but it's more just for like cash flow on the side. I don't want it to be like amazingly big.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was living in a share house, I've always lived in share house, but the previous one I was at, the people that I was living with, they were just not about it. So it just didn't sit right with me. They didn't want people coming in, which was just my friends, but I don't want to go into that. But yeah, it was not a good environment.
So during COVID, you moved to Queensland. Is that because their COVID like lockdown situation was easier?
Well,
that's what I heard anyway.
Yeah, they didn't have lockdown there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to wear masks. Or they did have to wear masks, but nobody wore them.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to live in Greece at the time.
Right.
But because I couldn't actually physically
Get
allowed to go there.
Yeah. Plus their economy wasn't doing so well.
Yeah. I chose...
Because they like ended their work day at 2:00 to go home and have a nap and then never went back to work.
Oh, yeah, right. Probably. My dad would know a lot about that. But yeah, I thought that Queensland was the warmest place.
Yeah.
Close as possible that I could move. So you weren't allowed to move there at the time.
Yeah.
But I got around it and I lived there and I was there for 6 to 8 months.
Right.
I thought I wouldn't come back. I packed up everything. I left in like 3 days. My family was beside themselves. They thought I was just...
Where in Queensland?
The Gold Coast, yeah.
Okay.
I went there. It was really nice. It's really different.
Super different.
At the time when I moved, it was really hard to get a place because everyone was moving there up from Melbourne. So it was just difficult.
I know people that are still moving there.
I would still live there again. I have friends there that move there. Yeah, it's very much like my lifestyle. I get up early because the sun comes up at like 4:30 there in the morning.
Every day, right?
Yeah, like
Or
when
most
it's
days.
winter, it will come up a little bit later, like 5:30, but still that's pretty like good for like we don't get that in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Only in like the summer
Yeah.
at like 6. So, yeah, it was good. I moved back. Nothing like Melbourne.
So why did you move back? Because you just like
Well, there was a few things.
family missed you.
Well, obviously family missed me, but I couldn't get a place. I was living with a housemate. I wanted my own space. I couldn't get one.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I got a lot of health issues up there. The water, I think, is not very clean compared to Melbourne. And I got like psoriasis. And all these doctors kept saying different things. And when I came back, I still thought like I'd have to come to specialists. That was one of the reasons. I just was sick of like taking medication. And as soon as I came back, it was still like itchy. Like I'm talking, my arms and my legs were just like inflamed and just in my sleep I was scratching. It was just so frustrating. And it went away as when I came back to Melbourne.
I can't believe how big their cockroaches get up there. They're fucking massive.
Never seen him up there.
Never? I went, was it last year? I went to Brisbane a couple of times and I'm like, these things are as big as your mobile phone.
I'd think that, I was going to say, I think they'd be bigger in Melbourne. But
in the city.
Okay, I've never seen them.
Must be the heat and the humidity.
Think if you live further in the bush, maybe you'd see things like that. But Gold Coast is pretty like, it's on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Melbourne's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I moved back. It's good in its own ways, to be honest with you, but like just the fact that they don't have daylight savings up in Gold Coast, so it's dark like really early. You just have more time in the day, and obviously my family's here.
There's a lot more things happening here.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more opportunity, and which there are pros and cons to that, because if there's more opportunity, it attracts more people. So then you got to fight, or you got to work a little bit harder.
Well, it was still hard to get a place here. So in that sense, yeah, you had to fight a little bit with real estate. But I don't know. In Gold Coast, it's very slow, because
it's a lifestyle.
But it's only like 3 suburbs really. And I just felt like I was just squashed in this place. Like you don't really go outside of Burleigh or Broadbeach or and here it's just like you can go to so many different areas and it just feels so much bigger. And I think I'm just used to that. But yeah.
Are we still the most livable city in the world?
I don't think so. Not after Dan Andrews. I saw a post about it. We're not.
Yeah, I think somewhere in Europe.
It's somewhere up there.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the top 10, I think.
Yeah, I think
it's like
I think it might be 3 or 4. I think it's in the top 5 still. But
I don't think it is.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But we can check.
Not that it matters. We don't need more people coming here.
Yeah, the traffic's getting pretty bad, but
during COVID, I was like, oh my God, I don't have to drive anywhere. This is amazing. But like after COVID,
it's just come out of nowhere. I think because a lot of people are allowed to move here for studying. And I think that happened in chunks after COVID.
But yeah, it's definitely, I don't know if it was because of COVID or like there's more people on the road. Like you just get so frustrated more.
Yeah, you can get frustrated.
And then people like forget how to drive when it rains.
Well, people would just be scared that they don't want to have an accident.
Yeah.
Probably.
But that's why you get your car serviced.
Yeah, I know. But like when you brake, it takes longer to brake when it's wet.
Yeah. So you just need to like not be so close to the person in front of you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I listened to a podcast ages ago about emotions and how like people driving on the roads has nothing to do, like how they drive, it affects people's emotions so much. And ever since I listened to that, I learned so much from it. I just don't get angry on the road anymore.
What's your favorite podcast?
Like person?
Yeah, besides this one.
My favorite, I would say I listen to, I have like 3.
Okay.
Can I say 3?
Yeah, I'll have it like come up.
Okay. I love Ed Milet.
Oh, I don't know Ed.
He's like a self-development coach for a lot of athletes.
Gotcha. I can see the relevancy in that now.
Yeah, but he just talks about he interviews like great people that you wouldn't see on everyone's podcast. Like Jay Shetty interviews a lot of people that everyone interviews, I feel like, and they go do the rounds. But he interviews like people that you wouldn't know, but just have so much value. I love it. Love him. The second one would be, and I've listened to a lot and learnt a lot from the Impact Theory by Tom Bilyeu.
Yeah.
Amazing. He just like has such good learnings from his podcast. And I guess everyone loves Joe Rogan, but I would say I like learning things from my podcast. The last one I would say is Aubrey Marcus. That's Joe Rogan's best mate or something.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like more of a spiritual podcast. And he talks like about things like relationships and just, yeah. I've learned so much from his. I love it.
It is interesting, the whole podcast landscape and how much information is now available and just like people talking about stuff.
I love it. I think it's great. It's like radio, but you can just choose what you want to listen to.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to the...
And like Tucker Carlson was talking to Joe about how he started, and Joe's like very humble. He he started at home at his place like 7 years ago, and he was just like talking to his mates, and then like order pizza or whatever, and then Tucker's like, so at what point did it become profitable, or like did you start making money? 5 years.
Yeah, see, you have to really work hard for things.
5 years. And like now is like the number one.
Yeah.
You know.
He like built the platform, I feel like.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to just copy Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he interviewed like Elon Musk, like so many cool people.
Yeah. But then also he, like with his UFC commentating, he didn't ask to get paid for like the first 40 fights or something.
Because he just loves the MMA side of things, doesn't he?
Because of his martial arts background and stuff like that. And then the UFC like really appreciated it, and Dana White was like, okay, we'll start paying you now, and this is how much we're going to pay you. It's like, oh my God.
Interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah. I mean, you'd think because he's been doing it for so long, he would have made money at the start. But yeah, I think that happens like with so many different businesses. Hey, you don't really get much. And same with music, you don't get much from it like at the start. But yeah, I love listening to Joe's ones. Like I listened to his one recently. It went for like 3 hours. He was interviewing someone Schultz, like another comedian.
Oh, Andrew Schultz. Yeah. He's
And
good. That was a good one.
It was. Someone shared it on Instagram, and yeah, like sometimes I get bored and I just get out of it. But that one was really good. I don't know. They were just talking about like just cool things, I guess. But
UFOs.
were they?
Yeah, and AI. I remember they were talking about that.
Oh, I watched it over like a week, so I've probably forgotten some of it.
He talks about UFOs and AI quite a bit actually, and that the AI that's happening now is that actually like the aliens that we're seeing, they've come back from the future.
Oh, so yeah, and he was talking about Area 51, how they've
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he has like some really obscure like guests. I'm just like, what is going on?
I haven't watched heaps of them because he stopped like putting them on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he was doing it on Spotify for ages.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know the videos were on there.
It's because I think it was probably about like a month ago he re-signed his like Spotify contract and now it's like on
Exclusive.
Apple. No, it's not exclusive. So now it's on every other platform like Apple Music and Amazon,
that's good.
Audible, and they're all making money. Like it's all distributed, shared.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing that I like about Joe is that he's like a comedian and he's got like the Mothership, which I want to go and like watch a show.
Oh, in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas.
Did you know Texas is like no tax?
No.
I learned that the other day.
Really?
Because I've been telling my friends for years, like a year now, that I want to live in Dubai.
Because there's no tax. That's no tax in Dubai.
There's no tax in Dubai, but in Texas, it's like 1% tax. So technically, girl math, no tax.
Did you just say girl math?
Yeah. Technically, it's like no tax.
Technically. Like
you wouldn't notice it.
It's just 1%.
So much
But you
less.
have to tip. You got to tip in the US, though. When I was there 7 years ago, I was like blown away at how like people get upset that you don't tip.
I wouldn't. I don't really tip anyone.
No, we don't tip here, but over there you have to tip because they actually get taxed on their tips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go to restaurants much then. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, the fight Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is going to be in Texas.
Oh, because of no tax.
Makes sense. I was telling my friends at the fitness expo last week that I want to watch the fight there. I want to go to America and watch it because I think you won't really see Mike Tyson fight again.
Yeah, and I think
Hopefully,
I don't know what the update is, but there was controversy about the fact that it's not an official fight; it's an exhibition fight.
That it's just for show.
Correct, and they're trying to get it as an official fight. And like if Tyson wins, like that's it. He's gone. He's done. Like
I don't know. I was saying like I think there's a good chance between both because Mike Tyson's older, and he doesn't want to like hurt people anymore. He like has done a lot of work, so I can't imagine him wanting to like kill anyone in the ring now because he's just changed as a person. So he would, to me, it's like for money. But I feel like Jake Paul also, he's been training and he's pretty good.
Yeah,
like he does like talk a lot of shit, but I think it's for marketing.
Yeah, 100% it's for marketing.
Yeah,
that's just the cat feeder.
Oh,
the cat's gone now.
That's amazing.
Tyson collects pigeons.
I've heard something like that, and I'd only just remembered it when he said it.
Yeah, pigeons, and so he has like pet pigeons.
He's so soft, like inside.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And apparently, so pigeons, were the animal that he like was drawn to when he was a little kid. and when he used to get like beaten up on the streets, like the pigeons were his friends.
That's so cute.
And he'd like take the pigeons home and he would console with the pigeons and they would console with him.
Interesting.
And that's just like continued on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that he's got some sort of camp or farm to help train people or something he's got up there, which I think is cool. And he stopped doing his podcast to train for the fight.
Yeah.
Or he finished it or something.
And then I also heard that before he started training, he actually cried.
The first time, yeah.
He cried because he knew the type of person that he needed to be to train and to fight. I
like Mike Tyson a lot. I don't really watch movies too much because I just feel like, I don't know, I'm wasting time when I watch a movie. I'm just like, you're going to die soon. Like, you're not working on your goals. Like,
what do you mean wasting time? I get a lot of inspiration from movies.
Yeah, no, it's really good, but that's just like, not all the time I feel like that, but most of the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just watch more documentaries where I learn something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Documentaries are all right.
I love documentaries.
What was the latest documentary that you watched? Don't say Mike Tyson and his pigeons.
No, I think it was the Sylvester Stallone one.
Oh.
I love watching biographies of like really successful people. Like Kanye West is my favorite one. It's amazing. It goes for so long, but I'd recommend everyone to watch it.
What was the key takeaway from that one?
I started posting heaps of videos after I watched his documentary because he was like talking about what people think in one of his episodes, and like, you know, doing covers or something like of other people's songs it's like wasting time because you're not working on your own craft and stuff like that. Right. So just like seeing his perception on what people think throughout his career is just like I relate to, and I love him. I like just like Conor McGregor's documentaries.
Oh yeah.
Muhammad Ali's one. Yeah, they're really cool. I love watching that type of stuff.
I'm kind of picking up like the fighter, like struggling and like that's
maybe I never thought of it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, like your origin story is kind of almost the same. So like we're gonna see you come out with a big album or something in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's.
We heard it here first.
I don't know. Yeah, I just love people that work hard.
Yeah.
So just seeing it and watching it just jays me up.
I think it's definitely inspiring, like when you hear other people's stories and like how hard they had it or how hard they're working, and if they're still working, chances are they are still working at, you know, to achieve something.
Yeah, because it's like a real stuff. It's not like just fake stuff. It's like something you can relate to. You take something from it, and it's like a real person.
Yeah, and it's just a lot more engaging, you know. It's more relatable and you can kind of like really feel the authenticity.
Yeah, but even so, like apart from just biographies, I also like just true story stuff, I guess. Like I watched this documentary about the civil war that happened in 2016 in Czech Republic or something. If that's the right place, I might have it wrong, but there was a full war there, and I feel like no one knows about it. And I only learnt about it through the documentary, and it was so sad because the government went against something they said they would do, and the whole country protested for months. They all camped on the street in front of the government building.
Fuck.
And it went on for like 9 months. So no one worked. It turned into like an old school war. And it was only in 2016. So that's like so recent. And
so weird.
Yeah, the government like turned on the people, and they were full like barricading themselves. And the government was like shooting at them. Heaps of people died. And there's a full real documentary about everyone that died.
How did we not know about this like in the news?
Yeah, exactly.
So weird. Like the organizations that run news agencies.
Yeah, exactly. Don't believe everything you see online.
No.
I would recommend it. 100%. I think it's called like Winter on Fire.
Winter on Fire. Is it on Netflix?
It was.
Oh.
Yep.
So it's on.
So it might still be. I haven't looked at it since.
Okay.
So, yeah, I watched it a few years ago. And there's one called Heal. Heal. It's
HEAL.
Yeah, I plan to do something soon about this documentary actually. So that's
what
exciting.
Do you mean?
I can't say too much because
a music video about healing.
No. But it was kind of the starting point to like my self-development, that documentary.
That's cool.
So just going to tie in mental health with that in something in person soon. So
yeah,
it'll be really exciting.
That's super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you're going to move to Greece.
I would travel first. I've been recommended a lot to not just move there without seeing it.
You're going to move there and you're going to start your like music career.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And
hopefully.
Then you'll be world famous and I'll be like, yep, we had her on the podcast.
I'm sure I'll do many.
She was here first.
Yeah. Greece is a good place, but unfortunately they don't pay people very well there. So if you have your own thing going, it's just like, unfortunately, Europe is just the same. It's not just Greece. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of scammers and stuff happening in Europe.
Oh, it's just the economies, not that. But if you have your own thing going, you can definitely live somewhere. But it would be Dubai for me, 100%. I can travel to Greece anytime. You wouldn't want to live there in winter. But I could go to Greece and swap between Dubai for sure. That's my thing.
Yeah, definitely lots of opportunity in Dubai. And like, you may find someone that supports you over there.
Yeah. I'm not looking for that, but it's would be great to just meet people on the same level there for sure.
Yeah.
I think it will happen and it's definitely something I'm planning on, like in the works. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, how can people find you?
Find me. I should really change my Instagram name, but it's just on Instagram really. I'm working on putting all my links there.
Yeah.
Soon. I have a very old SoundCloud. So a lot of
you have a SoundCloud.
I have SoundCloud, but it's from like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So all my like good songwriting stuff is on my phone. So that's what I'm working on getting prepared this year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put it out properly. I don't just want to put it up, but there'll be some snippets which I'm currently cutting out of them just to put up just for people to kind of see. So that will be in there soon. But my Instagram's just Bridgie Babe, unfortunately.
Bridgie Babe.
Yes. It's been like that since I was 14. So it's just really an inside joke. And now everyone knows me as Bridgie Babe instead of Bridget. So it's just worked out well, to be honest.
Well, that's all right. I'll have Bridgie Babe come up.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, yeah.
Everyone will be like, oh,
she was on a
Bridget. Yeah, 100%. I reckon people will say that.
And so are you going to have like, are you think about having like a separate account for like your music and stuff like that as well? Or?
No, because it takes so long to build up. I will just have everything as my brand on my page.
On Bridgie Babe.
Or I'd make if I wanted to, I'd make a personal one separately, if anything. So less people are on there private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thanks.
We've been going for an hour and 23 minutes.
That's good.
It didn't feel like it.
No, it's been a good chat, hasn't it?
Well, thank you so much for coming along today.
Thanks for having me.
And can't wait to see some amazing stuff come out.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm
excited to share it because it's just hid for too long. Hid for too long, yeah.
As in hidden in your phone for too long?
Yes. And not everyone knows I'm a singer. Every time I say something, I'm like, oh, like I work in sales. But now I'm just like, no, like that's me.
Yeah.
You'll see some stuff soon. For sure.
Amazing. Thanks everyone for listening in, and just make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. See ya.